Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some MLB player props I like for today on Prizepicks for Tuesday, August the 2nd. We do have a big Tuesday slate, full slate today. I think we actually have 16 games. We do have an early game, a doubleheader, but we have a full 15-game night slate, so there are a lot of options on the board. Prizepicks has had their pitcher props, their pitcher board up for about 45 minutes to an hour, and I've been kind of digging through some props. Found 3 props I liked. Taking a first look at the board on Monday night. Definitely, there's going to be some more props I like for today. I'll take a look at the board once again on Tuesday. I'll share some more plays that I like over on Patreon. If you guys enjoy these YouTube videos and if they do help you out a lot, you want to get more content from me, you want to get more Prizepicks plays from me, I do provide those over on Patreon. You can check that out. It is linked down below in the description. It is the first of the month, or it's the beginning of the month, I should say. So that is always the best time to join the Patreon, so that way you get the most value out of your subscription. But yeah, guys, got a big slate for today. Before we talk through our 3 plays for today, we can recap the 2 plays that we gave out on Monday. And sadly, we did not hit our 2-pick entry on Monday. We went 1-1. We did hit the over on Hunter Green's strikeouts. Hunter Green pitched a great game against the Marlins. I think he finished with 8 or 9 strikeouts, and we needed 6 from him. Took us over 6 Ks. That one wasn't too much of a sweat. The play that missed, though, was the over on Max Scherzer's strikeouts. We took that over 7. Max Scherzer only finished with 5 strikeouts. I knew that matchup against the Nationals was tough. The Nationals are a team that don't really strike out much. But I was banking on the talent of Max Scherzer. I was banking on his elite strikeout upside. And he just had, a tough start. The Nationals were fouling off a lot of pitches. Scherzer got into a lot of 2-strike counts, but he just couldn't get those strikeouts and only finished with 5 Ks. Again, I didn't really like the board that much on Monday. I kind of played light on Monday's slate, but I definitely like the board for today. I like the props that we have up right now. So yeah, we got 3 props for today. Just real quick, guys, hit that like button. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button as well. And also, if you're new to Prizepicks, make sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code NOAH. When you do, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. If you bet player props on a sports book, if you bet player props on any other site that isn't Prizepicks, definitely recommend you give the Prizepicks a try. Make sure to sign up with that code, get that deposit bonus. Prizepicks, they offer a lot of props in MLB. Obviously, their full board, is not even posted right now. They're going to add even more props as we get closer to the start of the games on Tuesday, so you can take a look at their full board. Sometime Tuesday afternoon, see all the props they have available. You can see all the props they have available for other sports as well. Prizepicks does offer a lot of other sports outside of just MLB. Definitely give them a try. Use that promo code so that way you do get a deposit bonus when you sign up. But yeah, guys, 3 props for today. It's a big slate. There's a lot to like. And what stood out to me the most, we got a strikeout prop that I like for today, and then we have 2 pitcher fantasy scores that I like. So first off, starting in the strikeout prop, we're going to go to Kevin Gausman, and I like his over 6.5 strikeouts today going up against the Rays. So the Rays so far this season have been a pretty heavy strikeout team. So far this year versus right-handed pitching, the Rays do rank 4th highest in the league, 24.7% K rate versus righties this season. And if we take a look at this Rays projected lineup, what their projected lineup is for tomorrow. Now, it is worth noting that Tuesday is actually the trade deadline, so you could see some lineups be a little bit different than what you may expect because guys could get traded. But with the projected lineup that the Rays are rolling out there right now, there's really only 2 guys that don't really strike out, and that's Yandy Diaz and Isaac Paredes. Everyone else in this Rays lineup has a K rate above 20% this season. 26% K rate for G-Man Choi, 24.5% for Brandon Lau, 26% for Rosarena. They just did get David Peralta, and so far this year, David Peralta, he's got a 23% K rate. Luke Raley, 30% K rate. Bethancourt, 23% K rate. Taylor Walls, 28% K rate. Like, so many guys in this Rays lineup strike out. Kevin Gausman's a really good strikeout pitcher. He's got a 27.9% strikeout rate this season. And so far this year, he's got one of the best chase rates in the league, so he gets a lot of swings and misses on pitches outside the strike zone. Has a pretty good swing and strike rate as well. He has actually faced the Rays so far twice this season. He did face them recently, and he actually got injured in that start. He faced them on July 2nd. He only pitched 2 innings through 42 pitches. Pretty sure he got pulled from that start because of injury. He did have 3 strikeouts through 2 innings for what it's worth. And then he did face the Rays early this season on May 13th, had 8 strikeouts through 7 innings. So I think this is definitely a matchup we could see Kevin Gausman rack up some strikeouts. This Rays team has been striking out a ton this season. And it's obviously a spot where we can, hopefully exceed Gaussman, get 7 Ks. For what it's worth, right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, Kevin Gaussman over 6.5 Ks is actually minus 145. So this is a line that you definitely might see move up to 7. Normally, if there's a K prop that's pretty heavily juiced, you're going to see the lines likely go up. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see this line go up to 7. I wanted to get it while it was still at 6.5, and I like it at 6.5. I think there's at least a non-zero chance that Gaussman finishes at 7 strikeouts, and if he does, obviously we will still win our pick. If Gaussman, if this line does bump up to 7, you don't really get that. If he finishes with 7, it might be a push. So I would want to get it at 6.5. If it's if it's still at 6.5 by the time you're watching this video, hopefully it is. But I like this play quite a bit. I like the matchup for Gaussman. The Rays have just been striking out so much this season, and Gaussman's a really good strikeout pitcher. He can rack up Ks, and I think he should be able to do that today against this Rays team. So that's our first play for today. And then our next 2 plays are both going to be pitcher fantasy scores. The first play that I'm liking for a pitcher fantasy score is going to be Christian Javier taking his over 33.5 fantasy score going up against the Red Sox. Now, this is something that we talked about in a recent video. I think it was maybe on Friday when we took Brandon Woodruff's over fantasy score, and it was against the Red Sox. So the Red Sox this season versus right-handed pitching actually have pretty solid numbers. Their strikeout rate is fairly low. They do have a 21.7% K rate against righties, which is 20th, which is towards the bottom of the league. And their offensive numbers are pretty solid. Like they have the 5th best batting average, on base percentage. Boston is about middle of the pack in that category. In terms of like ISO, their power, Boston ranks where they at in ISO. Let's see, they're about middle of the pack in ISO as well. WRC plus, Boston ranks 17th. But what really stands out is over the last 30 days. Again, this is something we talked about in Friday's video. Boston has really been struggling lately. They just haven't been swinging the bat that well. They've been losing a lot of games, and they've also been striking out a lot more. They have a 27.3% K rate over their last 30 days, which is 3rd highest in the league, and their offensive numbers have been really, really bad. 22nd in batting average. In terms of on-base percentage, Boston is 27th in that category. Slugging, they are also bottom 10 in slugging. They rank bottom 10 in OPS. In terms of ISO, Boston is about middle of the pack in ISO, but WRC plus, they're also bottom 10 in WRC plus. So they've kind of been like a cold offense lately, been striking out more. Christian Javier is a very good pitcher. He has a lot of strikeout upside. This is something he's really good at is striking out batters. 33.6% K rate this season for Christian Javier, which is top 4% in the league. The one thing that Javier does struggle with is walks, and sometimes you'll see him have innings where he throws a lot of pitches. That's another thing that has kind of hurt him this season is that he hasn't been able to pitch super deep into games because he's just had really long innings where he walks batters. He'll throw like 30 pitches in one inning. But this 33.5 fantasy score it definitely feels too low for Javier, especially with how bad the Red Sox have been struggling lately and with how much they've been striking out. Right now, Christian Javier, his K prop is currently set at 7. I think if Christian Javier gets 7 or more strikeouts today, it is very likely that he also gets 34 fantasy points. Now, we had this exact same scenario last time, or a couple times ago when Javier started. It was against the Angels. I took his over fantasy score. I think it was like 36.5, and he had 10 strikeouts that start, but somehow did not get 37 fantasy points. Could this be a weird start where Javier gets like 8 strikeouts and gives up like 4 runs? I guess that's possible, but I think if Javier pitches 5 or 6 innings, if he gets a quality start, he's probably going to go over this fantasy score because we know he's going to be able to rack up strikeouts. He's one of the better strikeout pitchers in the league. I was debating between taking his over fantasy score and over strikeouts. I think I feel a little bit better about fantasy score. I just feel like this number is a few points too low. Maybe Javier gets a win. Like, that's always a possibility. Don't know what like the odds are for the Astros. Let's see what kind of odds we have on this game. So the Astros are minus 213 moneyline favorites. So there's at least a chance that Javier is able to get a win. If he does, that's 6 fantasy points. So I like his fantasy score a little bit more than taking his over strikeouts. I think there's a possibility that he hits both. But the 33.5 fantasy score is definitely the prop I like the most for Javier today. So that's going to be our second prop for today. And then third and final prop, another fantasy score. This one's all based on matchup. I'm really liking the over on Cole Irvin's fantasy score, taking over 27.5. And again, it's for matchup. Cole Irvin gets to face the Angels today, who are one of the worst teams in the league. The Angels, they've just been struggling so much this season, and especially without Mike Trout, this is not a lineup that you really should fear. So far this year versus left-handed pitching, fourth highest K rate in the league, 24.5% K rate. In terms of their offensive numbers, I mean, the Angels are just, versus lefties, they're not a good offense. They have a bottom 10 batting average. They have a bottom 10 on-base percentage. Slugging, they're 28, so they're third worst in slugging. They're third worst in OPS. In terms of ISO, the Angels are fourth worst in ISO. WRC plus, they're third worst in WRC plus. Like, they've just been terrible against lefties. They've been striking out a ton. Obviously, Cole Irvin is not like a fantastic pitcher. I mean, he's just kind of like an average pitcher. But I think in this matchup, like, he can get us 28 fantasy points. He should be able to pitch deep enough into the game to hopefully get a quality start. I don't see him giving up, like 3, 4, 5 runs. So he should be able to get that quality start. He has gone, I believe, 6 innings in like 4 straight starts, I do believe. Irvin's pitched 6 innings now in it's actually 6 straight starts. Cole Irvin has pitched 6 innings. One of those starts he did give up 5 runs to the Yankees, but he's had a quality start now in 5 straight games. So if he gets us a quality start today, he's probably going to go over this fantasy score. He definitely should be able to get some strikeouts in this matchup. Now, his K prop for today, it's only set at 4, kind of for good reason, because he's not like a super high strikeout guy. Like, so far this year, Cole Irvin has just a 17% K rate. But this Angels team just strikes out so much that, like, even Cole Irvin could get 5, 6 strikeouts against this Angels team. I mean, you look at some of the K rates for these guys. Brandon Marsh, if he's in the lineup, he's got a 41% K rate against lefties this year. Phil Gosselin has a 33% K rate. 24% for Jared Walsh, 24% for Max Stassi, 20% for Taylor Ward. Ohtani against lefties has a 25.9% K rate. Really, the only guys that don't strike out are David Fletcher and Luis Rengifo. Everyone else has a K rate above 20%. So it's a really good matchup for Irvin. It's one that he should get some strikeouts in. You don't really worry about this Angels offense putting up a ton of runs. That's just something that they haven't been doing at all this season. And I think if Irvin gets a quality start, which he's done now in 5 straight starts, if he gets a quality start today, he's probably going to go over this fantasy score. Like, if he pitches 6 innings, gives up 2 runs, gets 4 strikeouts, that's 28 fantasy points. And that feels like a pretty reasonable projection for Irvin today. If not, he could obviously do better than that. So I like that as our third and final play for today, over 27.5 fantasy score for Cole Irvin. And these are our 3 plays for Tuesday, guys. This is what I'm liking. Over 6.5 strikeouts for Kevin Gausman, over 33.5 fantasy score for Christian Javier, and over 27.5 fantasy score for Cole Irvin. It's a big Tuesday slate. We have a full slate of games. These were the 3 props I liked most. Taking a first look at the board on Monday night, but I'll definitely take a look at the board again on Tuesday, and I will find some more plays I like. I will share those over on Patreon. So if you guys want to get more Prizepicks plays from me, you want to see more that I offer, you can check out the Patreon. It's linked down below in the description. Check that out if that does interest you. But as always, wish you guys the best of luck on the slate. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helped. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. And again, make sure to check out Prizepicks, sign up for Prizepicks, and use promo code NOAH. When you do, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video as always. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.